Yes, definitely, definitely.
but I think there's a lot of consistencies. Are, are you familiar with the idea of pickaxes and shovels? Have you heard of this?
No.
So, like a pickaxe and a shovel
Yeah.
it's a term that represents the the underlying architecture and not the application.
Yeah.
So like the kind of like the fun, sexy, cool projects are like I don't know, Snapchat, social media,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But the stuff that actually makes money, more often than not, is like the stuff underneath.
Infrastructure.
Exactly.
And that's like analogy for that is the train station here in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly.
It's built underground, and it was an infrastructure for San Francisco for a while.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, before we went on the street with the cars.
Ah, that's an excellent point.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think I would like San Francisco to get more into, and I think we are, is rooftop rooftop bars. Have you been to New York?
Yes, yes.
Okay, what was your New York experience like?
We were very crowded a little bit, but like people just doing their own thing
Yeah,
and self-expression.
yeah,
Yeah, my
kind of like
impression.
middle finger to everybody that doesn't understand, right? It's just like just crazy and vibrant, also very vibrant.
Yeah,
I would say.
vibrant.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of rooftop bars in New York because the weather's so nice in the summer. So I think we're starting to do that a little bit more. There's one I forget what it's called. Oh, Starlight. Have you been to Starlight? It's so cool. It as soon as you walk in, it feels like you're in like the 1950s. Yeah. Do you know that kind of like satin and gold and kind of dark colors and like Art Deco 1940s, 1950s style?
Texture so far.
Exactly. Like really big windows. Yeah.
Full frame.
It's 100%. Yeah. So Starlight's pretty cool. But I don't know if you're listening to this, get a rooftop restaurant and bar in San Francisco. We need them, so that we have more cool places to party.
Yes,
So
yes, I totally agree.
yeah. So maybe do you want to share a little bit about what you're building and how the community here can check on a website or be valuable to it?
Well, currently I'm doing a boot camp.
A book camp.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Cool.
I'm a student.
Okay. Okay.
Looking, just finishing up my project at the end of February.
Very
But I
nice.
definitely want to get into health startup. Health is something that I'm working on now to get like a good routine going for myself.
You said health, right?
Yeah, health.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, taking care of my own health, like holistically, mental, physical, and financial as well. Those are
They're all connected.
they're very interconnected.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to work towards into the future.
I have two cool things to tell you. One of which is our friend Shyama, Syama Bunton, is hosting the Women in Wealth Summit on March 27th in San Francisco. Hey, what's up, Shyama? If you're listening to this, and that's gonna be up in the city here. Um, so if you'd like, I can introduce you to Shyama. Her and her husband Jonathan are super cool. They run Big Delta Capital. Yeah, and then also, so last year we hosted like 400 people in like early October for a longevity summit. It was so cool. We had like biotech investors, we had PhD, MDs, Stanford doctors, and kind of just brought everybody together.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the right place.
Oh yeah, for sure. So tell me, like, what got you interested in the boot camp, and then what is your experience been like with the boot camp so far?
Yeah, so I come from a non-technical background. I have a bachelor's degree in business tech.
Okay, so you already know the space.
Know the space sort of, but I sort of took a detour. I went abroad and teach for 2 years.
Really? Where were you?
I was in Cambodia.
Oh my God, how cool!
Teaching 7th grader and 9th grader computer.
Really?
Yeah. Microsoft Office is very essential. Like knowing how to use spreadsheets and like documents, having those skills.
Absolutely. This is the kind of stuff that you're like empowering the kids with a tool set to be able to use later.
Yeah, I just want to give them that exposure so that they can do things that they will down the line.
You, there's a young woman named Wendy Shu, Shew, and Wendy has a nonprofit called Building Education, and Wendy has built over a dozen schools in Nepal. Because like, do you remember when the earthquake happened a couple years ago? It decimated a lot of the school infrastructure. And kids deserve to learn. Kids deserve to have fun and play with their friends and kind of set themselves up for success for the next chapter.
Yeah.
So
I definitely admire those people that they spending time and resources in provide
oh yeah,
really pathways.
exactly. Um, you should meet Wendy. She's super cool.
I would love to.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Wendy and who's the other? I already forgot. There's so much going on.
Longevity.
Oh, right, of course. Yeah, cool. So we'll make sure to do that. Um, in the meantime, maybe would you like to share your full name with the folks so anybody listening can connect with you on you're on LinkedIn, I assume.
Yeah, I'm on
Cool.
LinkedIn. So my name is Mariane, spelling Salen, last name Mean.
Beautiful. Hey, great done. Thank you for coming on. This is pretty cool. I know very impromptu, but you did great.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, cheers. Nick Larson.
Awesome.
Yeah, we'll
engineering technologies.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to another fantastic episode of Silicon Zombies. We're here with Alexi and Wilson Engineering Technologies. First and foremost, shout out to our friend Mariane Becker and Kristopher hosting an awesome party at the what's the name of this joint again? Thank you, Temple. I should know these things. I swear I'm prepared. So, Alexi, welcome to the show. Excited to have you. Tell us a little bit about what you're building.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. We are actually working on the smart energy solutions that allow the households to lower their energy bills from 50 to 70%. And we're also providing the solution how to fight the fires, the wildfires, while sitting at home and make sure that all your property staying safe without any kind of the damage, and all the fire will go without any harm to residents and to the property.
Wow. Well, I love, first and foremost, I love that you're tackling two huge challenges, right? How do they play together? I'm curious. So you said it's energy and also firefighting. Help us understand.
We developed this system that in the normal times work as the energy solution for the house. So it provides the air conditioning, it provides the hot water heating, it provides the swimming pool heating at the same time. It's a system of energy recombination, as we call it. So meaning to say it's connected to AI, it connected to a lot of AI agents that controls the outside temperature, that controls a lot of parameters, and communicate with the residents which preference they have. While, for example, if they're hosting the swimming pool party every other Friday at 6 p.m., it means that the controller will contact the resident and ask, are you still going to do it this week, or your plans have been changed? If yes, if the reply is yes, it starts checking the weather, checking all the conditions, and make sure that by the time everybody get together, we have a nice and hot swimming pool, we have a nice and cool the lounges or the house that will provide the comfortable conditions for everybody. It will estimate how many people will be joining, so it will communicate with everyone.
So it's like a smart interactive platform, so you can plan better.
Yeah, from one hand, and from the other hand, it also reduces the energy bills dramatically because it allows to optimize the energy used by the house.
I see.
So
I see.
instead of always heating the swimming pool or always cooling the house when nobody's in, you don't need to spend this money on that. You are doing it whenever you need it.
So it's almost like this. Correct me if I'm wrong, Alexi. It's almost like the system can maybe read or understand the calendar and know how to throttle up the energy before it happens.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
And not only calendar, it unites a lot of factors. How much are you busy at work? What is the weather conditions at the same time? Are your friends are coming from the different state or something? So it analyzes a lot of stuff.
You're on camera there, pal.
Yeah.
No worries. No worries. So first and foremost, congratulations on the traction.
Thank you.
Tell us about, so on Zombies, we love to demystify emerging technology. It sounds like, Alexi, you're at the tip of the spear in the energy space, which is very appropriate given all these AI models that are sucking more energy than ever before. Tell us about your aha moment. Were you tinkering in the garage? Were you collaborating with a co-founder? When did you realize, like, oh my God, we've got something where we can reduce prices, energy by 57%? We're gonna change the market. When was that moment?
I can tell you about this forever because I need to start from my childhood. My father is a brilliant inventor.
Really?
He used to be the inventor of the USSR, and a lot of his inventions went to the into the production. So that's why that comes when my father was an expat to the USSR Scientific and Research Center in Conakry, West Africa, and I've been visiting him with my mom.
Where in West Africa?
Conakry,
Conakry.
Guinea.
Oh, okay, okay.
Guinea, yeah.
Gotcha.
And there I saw, the first time I saw the solar air conditioners, solar driven refrigerators, all these kind of things that actually producing the cooling capacity out of the heat. And it was really strange for me.
That's a brilliant
yeah,
innovation.
to see the one piece of metal pipe, one one part of it is the cold one, and the other one is red hot.
Yeah.
And how it can be happened in the single one pipe.
So maybe your father's expertise was in chemistry.
No,
Or physics.
Physics.
Okay.
He inspired me to start this journey, and I'm really, thankful to him to get this inspiration to me. And he's still working with me. He's still
That is
using
so
a lot
cool.
of ideas. He's still doing some incredible stuff. For example, how to prepare how to build a new engine for the spaceships, where the new fuels will come to this on the spaceships, how we can survive on Mars, for example, how to
Wow.
make the energy out of that.
Your dad sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's always working on something. He was working on this something like called Hyperloop, which Elon Musk company calls. But he developed the concept how to make it more energy efficient and um, more practical in a way how to cope with the problems that Hyperloop project face actually.
You know, I heard that the concept of the Hyperloop actually existed back in the 40s and 50s in the form of vacuum tubes, but that was kind of more focused around like smaller packages. But imagine, and they had this in Paris, they had this all over the world, but it was an elaborate maze of tubes, and these little packages would go like 30 miles an hour. And you know what's interesting? How like just throughout history, we have these chapters of innovation. It almost feels like the packets were like the precursor to the internet and the actual like the packages of data that were getting sent around, but they go a lot faster than 30 miles an hour,
Yeah.
as you can imagine.
Actually, I mean, as a humanity, we can make the speed of the plane on the Earth in a vacuum. But
Or what, like 500-600 miles an hour?
yeah. But the problem is that we need to make it, economically viable. That means that we have to make the energy cost as low as possible and make the system to be affordable by those who will use it in the future. Because building just a vacuum tube, like everybody can do, it's not an answer.
I don't know
We
if
have
I could build a vacuum too, because
Yeah,
it probably
I mean,
needs a compressor,
yeah,
probably.
it's nothing, but the amount of energy it will use make it immediately economically, unfeasible.
So let me ask you this: how can you accelerate and decelerate in a safe way using this technology? But I'm thinking about this for humans.
Yeah.
So if humans are going from point A to point B, how can we do it in such a way that's safe?
Sometimes it's hard to make the humans committed to such kind of the system, even though um, generations that is kindly um, like to be exposed in something new. But at the same time, when it comes to the hardware instead of the software, it's hard to convince them that we have to think about the future. For example, like we all know that AI is booming right now, and over again, it will capture a lot of. A lot of technologies, a lot of sphere of our lives.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what
yeah.
does it mean for us as experts in the energy field? That AI will be taking a lot of energy out of us. So the energy price will go up, and the one day it will start when AI will be able to buy it, like data center runners will be able to buy the energy on that higher price. But the households will not be do this, will not be able to afford that. So that's why we are thinking a little bit upfront, a little bit in the future to tell and to fix the problem of the household energy use, in the same time providing the data centers the optimized energy solution, not to consume a lot of energy, or even if they have to consume this energy has to be the low grade energy.
So
And that's why,
let's zoom out a
yeah.
little bit. If you had to explain the mechanics in like say 20 to 30 seconds to the audience here, how would you explain Wilson Engineering, right?
Yeah.
How would you explain the utility or use case or the functionality in a very succinct way? How would you kind of communicate
I
that?
would say we are as a Wilson Engineering Technologies were formed as a company that wants to give out the energy to all the people, but without the negative impact on the environment. And that's our mission.
Let's dive a little bit deeper into
Okay.
the science and the mechanics.
Yeah.
Is it an at-home system that's perhaps a competitor to the Tesla wall charger, or how?
No, it's a completely thermally driven systems. So it converts. So we want to preserve the high grade electricity for such kind of the consumers like Tesla or our Lightning or some home appliances. In the same time,
Like a proactive dynamic?
yeah, but at the same time,
okay.
whichever thermally driven systems are, like air conditioner, like domestic hot water heaters, like swimming pool heaters, like washer and dryers. They are all thermal systems. We should not use the high grade electricity or burn the fossil fuels to run the household appliances, which produce us the temperatures which are very close to the ambient temperature.
Yeah.
So we can use we can use the energy in a more smart way, and we can use the energy from the renewables or any other low quality source of the heat in order to convert it into the cooling, into the hot water, into the swimming pool,
I see,
into many,
I see.
and leave whatever we harvested for as the electricity for those purposes that really demand electricity. Because if your battery will consume all your electricity to run your air conditioner, you will not be able to power your Tesla. Obviously.
Right.
There
It's
will be
about
nothing.
where it gets
Yeah.
routed and allocated.
Yeah, but you can have both.
Before I forget, Alexi, there's a lady I want you to meet. Her name's Nikki Gastineau, Gastineal. Her and Ron Erd are hosting a sustainability conference. I want to say on February 4th or 5th.
Okay.
Maybe I think it's the 5th, in fact.
Mhm.
So you definitely got to meet these folks. There's also a gentleman named Troy Helming, Helming. Troy is a unicorn founder, twice over, really sharp guy, and he's building underground tunnel boring machines.
Great.
Yeah, in fact, they've got some really cool. I asked him, I was like, Troy, how does it work? And he's like, imagine like lightsabers on the front that like pulverize the dirt, the rocks, the shale, and then a Mandalorian jetpack that shoots all the stuff out the back. I was like, oh my God, that sounds incredible. I was like, isn't Elon Musk doing something like? He goes, we're 1/10 of the cost of Elon and 10 times faster.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe they can do like a kilometer per day, or a little over a kilometer per day.
Great.
Yeah.
We can definitely meet, and if you can give us some heads up and
Oh, yeah.
connect us, that would be really, really great. We are
Totally.
kind of new in terms of the liaising with venture capitalists and bringing something on the market. For all 7 years, we were working in the state of California. We mostly work with the government projects,
I see.
like Department of Energy, California Energy Commission, trying to validate our technology.
Yeah.
So, and now since some of the technology has been already validated, we are trying to push them on the market.
I thought you were going to say now that the administration is going to be open to innovation, maybe that's a great opportunity for you guys.
The administration, both administrations are open to innovation.
Okay.
The only thing that how we will, at which angle we will see this innovation. The previous one saw it in the form of only renewable, nothing else. The current one is trying to do it vice versa. But in
Yeah,
general,
drill, baby,
have,
drill. Plus,
we
let's
have
try
to
the
be,
innovation too.
yeah, both of these administrations are coming together when it comes to energy efficiency. So no matter what kind of the energy source we use, everything is energy efficiency. If there is not energy efficient to to extract the silicon or to, for example, to process the lithium brine, because it's an energy intensive process. That would not be economically viable in the long run, you know. So we have to think and consider all the technologies from the point of energy efficiency.
So, Alexa, we've got a pretty sophisticated audience, and they love hearing the again, like the tip of the spear, the interesting innovations. Tell us something about maybe like a cool leap in physics or chemistry, maybe a compound that's able to absorb sunlight better, or battery technology that is able to retain that better. What's going to happen in the next like 6 to 12 months that's really cool in the deep tech energy space?
I would say that you know, there is one thing that I would like to see what is going to happen on a deep tech, but the other thing is what is really going to happen. So whatever I like is that the community will be more, um, you know, how to say,
Collaborative, maybe,
yeah,
or
collaborative
open source.
and yeah, open for different technologies. Even for example, yesterday I was on the meeting at the 90 club and 90.
Oh yeah, it's it's like a high-end co-working space. I think.
And I was talking about the petrothermal energy. But the people there even didn't know what I'm talking about. But that's actually the same geothermal energy source that allows you to extract the energy from the earth, actually. But we know geothermal just because it's a kind of liquid like water that goes through the hot rocks in the
Is
pores
that
of
like fracking?
yeah, so, no, it's not fracking. It's geothermal energy. When we harvest the water, which is hot, in the form of steam, because it was, contacting the hot stones through the pores. But petrothermal energy is that we know that there is the hot, dry stones underneath the earth. We just need to pour the media there and extract this energy out. And the good advantage of this technology is that it has the potential to de-intensify the earthquake potential. That is really important for this area, for all the California and San Francisco, because we are laying on this
A major
on
fault.
this break. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we start getting this heat energy, thermal energy out of the earth, the chances or how to say the intensity,
Yeah.
the level of the earth will go down definitely.
Wow.
So
Well,
that's
anytime you can mitigate a natural
sure,
natural disaster.
natural disaster.
I heard also of a similar approach or strategy. So you're probably familiar that with the rising ocean temperatures, it's feeding these storms. So the storm season is getting longer and more intense, and more expensive too. So I heard about this one idea where they've got a long pipe that shuffles the water, the cold water, brings it to the top, brings the warm water down, and then so that actually has like a cooling effect, so it feeds the storm not so fast. Isn't that kind of a crazy idea?
No, you are talking about the valley. I recently had a conversation with the granddaughter of Jacques Cousteau.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
she's actually your colleague from Los Angeles.
How do we get her on zombies? That would be so cool.
I mean, she's in Los Angeles, environmentalist, and she's a very famous media person there.
Oh, okay.
And
probably a conservationist too.
yeah, sure, sure.
Just like her grandfather.
Sure. And we were talking about the invention that we recently developed, how to desalinate the water from the ocean without spending any external energy. And
That would
by
be a
yeah,
golden opportunity.
yeah, and that's what we purposely developed for the Department of Energy projects that refer to the emergency help to the blue economies.
I
Like
see.
you remember the hurricanes in Puerto Rico, in Haiti, and all this kind of
Yeah, they need a lot of support right
they
now.
immediately, stop producing any kind of electricity. The outages doesn't allow the reverse osmosis system to produce the desalinated water, the fresh water, and people. And by the time somebody will bring it to them, it's a disaster.
Can,
A lot of
can
a
you
lot-
help us understand a little bit of the chemistry behind? By the way, thank you for letting me put you on the spot here on this stuff. But help us understand the chemistry behind the desalinization process, where you're not losing energy in that process.
Usually, the standard water desalination process is a very energy intensive process. So you can achieve the good level of salinity in the water by evaporating this water, leaving the brine, not evaporated.
Isn't that energy intensive?
It's extremely energy
So
intensive.
how do you?
We use the natural temperature gradient, and and by the by doing this procedure, we are running this our process of desalination, using only the temperature gradient, and it's 10 times more efficient than produce electricity, and after that use this electricity to run the water desalination
I
process.
see.
But moreover, this upwelling, what you were describing about, allows the bottom layer, which are rich with the nutrients, come on the surface where all the algae
Yeah.
and a lot of small plankton is formed. So that boosts the fisheries and actually attract a lot of marine life. So it boosts the marine life processing.
So it sounds like there's secondary positive impacts or derivative impacts that are good for.
When you are going to Antarctica, to the southern pole, from the mainland, you are crossing the 51st, I believe, meridian.
Yeah.
That is usually very rough in terms of the waves. So it's a natural one because two oceans coming together.
Yeah.
And it's really full of marine life there. Because of what? Because of this natural upwelling.
Yeah.
So natural upwelling boosts the nutrients from the bottom layers up to the surface, and that attracts a lot of marine life to interact and to complete the cycle. To complete the cycle of life.
That's a thing of beauty. Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a marine biologist too. So I love the idea of using. You sound like a techno optimist, like me. So like using science applications in the lab to solve real problems. Like I heard a while ago about marine biologists that are crossbreeding coral that is less susceptible to rising temperatures. So they're regrowing the coral reef.
Yeah.
In conjunction, they're playing like underwater speakers, so like live music of a healthy reef, which is attracting 50% more fish. So you attract the fish, you're regrowing the coral infrastructure or the ecosystem. This is a beautiful thing, And then think about all the downstream, no pun intended.
We are
effects,
also, I'm also the person who were born on this sea. I'm from Odessa, Ukraine. It's a Black Sea. Yesterday, unfortunately, bombed. Tremendously by Russians. But and I was always loving to be in the sea.
Yeah.
I'm a diver. I'm an advanced underwater diver.
Me too. Nice.
I've been diving to many places in the world already.
Tell us a diving story. I know you got a couple up your sleeve.
Oh, sure, of
Yeah,
course.
tell us a good story when you're exploring the big blue sea.
Oh, probably the best story that I was trying to see the whale shark for the first time, and I was diving on Maldives for the whole week, and every time I come back 2 times a day, we went diving, and every time I come back, somebody, the other team saw it on the other place. Once I go there, they saw it on the other place. So, and
You're
the
like, what
whole
about
week,
me?
yeah, the whole week I was chasing this beauty, this incredible creature. And the last day on my final dive during this day,
Yeah.
we don't like to say last,
Sure, sure, sure. Of course.
it's the the final in the day.
Sure, sure, sure.
I finally saw it,
Excellent.
and my excitement was so
Palpable, I'm sure.
yeah, that I was freezed, and I couldn't believe my eyes.
Wow.
And I was smiling and crying in the same time.
That's beautiful.
And all my mask become,
Oh, wow.
But I saw this incredible creature. It was the size of the bus.
Wow.
And
And tell us, what were the colors like? Because
it's brown
the
with
spots on the back,
spots,
right?
yeah.
I heard the spots are like iridescent, almost like glow in the dark spots on the back of a whale shark.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Wow. Hey man, that's a great story. Alexei, thank you so much for joining. Maybe would you like to share a website for the folks at home so they can learn more about Wilson Engineering?
Yeah, we are building our website right now. As I mentioned, we were mostly in the government projects, but at the same time, I would love to have anyone contacting me on BUYADGIE at wilsonet.org. Yeah, I also have a YouTube in our technology called RefJet, RefGET. So you can you are welcome to visit them, to visit it and contact me for that.
Great. And Alexei, maybe you're on LinkedIn as well?
Yeah, my LinkedIn
Yeah,
is
spell your name for the folks tuning in.
OLEXIYBUYADGIE.
Perfect. Perfect. Alexei, hey, this is super fun, man.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you. Thanks again. Really appreciate it. Okay, cheers. Okay. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Jana.
I was okay, no?
Yeah, man, you knocked it out. Not true. What's the name of the new company?
Awesome.
Orso.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. Welcome to another super exciting episode of Silicon Zombies. We got our buddy Thor here from Orso, which is a new venture. You guys are doing amazing stuff in the AI robotics space. Thanks for being on the show, Thor.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Yeah, no, so we are having a autonomous mobile kitchen that is traveling across the Bay Area right now, straight in from Korea.
Wow.
So we just hired one of the most talented chefs in Korea to help make the recipes, and the robotics can do
Beautiful.
it for us
Excellent.
autonomously. So
You know, it's so timely, Thor, that you mentioned this. I was just watching the All In podcast this morning. Chamath, Friedberg, Sachs, and Jason Kalkanis, and they also had Travis Kalanick from Uber on, who's now innovating in the restaurant space, just like you guys. So it feels like there's a lot of room to grow. What got you interested in this space to begin with?
well, I guess there's a lot of room for growth when it comes to robotics and automating the food industry.
Right.
It is built by small margins, and no one really has tried to make a difference, especially for like Korean food or woks, and especially that.
Yeah.
And we see that delivery is either like you get your food cold, a little sticky, a little bit like sweaty when you get the food. So why not carry the kitchen on your back? Have robotics inside the van.
Wow.
It creates the food, it gets to your house, and it's warm, fresh upon delivery.
Oh my God.
So changing the whole kind of like way you eat is what it's all about.
You know, when I think of like the entrepreneur mindset, it's looking at life through a lens of problem equals opportunity. And I was a waiter back in high school and college, so like I know the space, and like the margins are not great. In San Francisco, you hear about a restaurant that, like half of them don't even make it more than a year or something thereabouts. So what a brilliant idea to tackle something that has so much opportunity.
Well, it's a very exciting space to be in.
Yeah.
I've worked in tech.
And delicious.
Yeah, very delicious. For many, many years, I worked in tech. But it's like, this is something that is exciting, and just to make it a little bit harder, startups are hard enough. Making a restaurant go around, even harder. So let's stack them on top of each other, and what do you have?
Yeah.
A food robotics company.
But if you're gonna do something epic, and it feels like you guys are. So tell us about your team. What was maybe like the genesis of it, or?
Yes. So like how it started was that with how I got to know the team is I've been helping companies raise capital.
Yeah.
So I happened to have them as a client. We vibe really well. And after a while, we thought, let's work together and make this thing, for real. So we raised $14 million today.
Wow. And you probably helped them out with that, I'm sure.
I'm trying. So
because you got a really impressive track record in the Bay Area of connecting capital to innovation.
Thank you. So this is a brilliant team. It's only 8 players. Everyone is doing amazing.
Wow.
So I am the person who's honored to be on their team.
Sure.
Not the other way around, I think.
Dude, I love the humility. Fantastic. Yeah. So help us paint the picture for us, Thor, if you would. What does the device look like? How delicious is the food when it comes out? When can we expect the next chapter? What's next?
Why don't I just bring it to you?
Oh my God! Can we do some now?
Can I do that?
Yeah. Is it here?
No, I don't have it here. But
Okay.
it
Got me excited. Man. That's okay.
I got done in Softbank, so
Okay.
it's like Redwood City.
Sure.
We can anytime come up to SF. So we are already operating 2 food trucks, and we're opening a restaurant very, very soon.
Wow.
With this technology, and again, with the recipes of our famous chef. So I would love to give more information.
We got to do a collaboration.
We got to do a collaboration.
The zombies are hungry for brains and intelligence and great stories, but also for delicious food too, right?
Korean food.
Yeah.
That sounds like a very good plan. I'd love to do it.
Fantastic. Well, maybe Thor, help us share a website or maybe your full name so folks can connect on LinkedIn with you.
So perfect. So my name is Tord Dunham. So connect with me on LinkedIn if you have any questions on what we're building. It's called Also, Korean barbecue and seafood. You can find us on Google and on all the social media. So we're trying to really launch this thing right now and check out the restaurant. It's up in a few weeks, hopefully.
Amazing, amazing. And so to spell, it's TORDDUNHAM.
DOENNUM.
Okay, perfect. Gotcha. Well, make sure to check out Thor online. He's got all sorts of awesome content on LinkedIn as well. And you guys are innovating the food space, which is beautiful, man.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
Congratulations.
Thank
and
you.
thanks for coming on the show. And more good stuff to come. I'm ready, man. I'm excited for the collab.
Beautiful. Man.
Cheers, brother.
Beautiful.
Right. Hey, that was super fun.
I need that little kick of like action. Every time I'm with you, I get this like beautiful like energy.
Get in Welcome to Silicon Zombies. We're causing all sorts of trouble up here in San Francisco with Mariane Becker and Kristopher at the GigaParty. Super psyched. To Mike Orlando from Retail Capital. Welcome to the show. So glad you could join us here.
Super psyched to be here, Nick.
Right on.
Super psyched to be here.
So first of all, shout out to our man Deep for connecting us. This guy is like the iron chef of connecting people, I swear. So
Let's connect the guy in San Francisco and Matt.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's working, but I can't tell if he's working or having fun. It's always
That's always the best guy.
Exactly. Speaking of which, tell us, Mike, a little bit about what you're building at Retail Capital.
Yeah, so Intel Capital's been around for a while. So we provide venture debt to startups. So it's basically how you want to think about it, Nick, is when a company Series A or above is raising around $20, $30 million, right? We can go in there and throw 10 to 15 million to add on as growth capital. It's just non-dilutive funding. So when they're going to be giving up a chunk of their company when they raise a round, we come in and say, okay, look, we're only going to take a very small portion and provide you with a loan for 3 to 4 years, and it's on a payback terms, but they can buy things like equipment or clinical trials on phase 1 to phase 2, or if they're in a cash flowing, or if they're imminently going to be cash flowing, they can service it with cash flows from the business and scale their top line.
I see. So you guys are almost like a substrate between the bank and risk capital, maybe.
Essentially, yes. So it's more you want to look at it as the best way to think of it as a founder is non-dilutive funding that you're adding to your capital stack when you're raising a round.
Yeah, and you get to keep a bigger piece of the pie. So I'm sure founders love you guys.
Exactly. Yeah, that's when they want to talk to us, is because they know. But again, I mean, VCs are our partner, right? So those are our guys and our girls that we love partnering with on this.
Is it deal flow? Or?
Exactly. It's a symbiotic relationship. But yes, obviously the founders love the fact that, right, we're not going to come in and take any more. We're going to provide them with capital to get them to that next level of their business, their next valuation.
What are so you probably get to work with all sorts of really fascinating people in like brand new tip of the spear innovations. What are some of the cooler companies that you get to work with lately?
Oh, man. Well, I just recently started ATEL about 5-6 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so love it here. But historically, I was at Bridge Bank, which is another phenomenal bank and lender in the space. They are probably one of the most friendly banks they can for all founders.
Yeah.
Worked with everything over there we are industry agnostic there, as well as ATEL Capital industry agnostic as well.
I see.
So, I mean, right now, I just talked to someone who's basically starting a whole new healthcare system. That was pretty incredible. And then another player who's, this one was tough to walk away from. I love basically they're creating like an AI that can go in and kind of figure out who and what and targets for like email marketing. That was a great spot. And the way that they were figuring it out was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
It's just what they've been able to do thus far with all those LLMs, machine learning.
It all plays together.
Yeah.
So how are you using AI from like a day-to-day perspective? Just because it feels like the space is changing so quickly. I think O3 Mini just got released like today or yesterday. So, I mean, of course, all this craziness with DeepSeek that wiped away like almost 600 billion, which I think largely it's bounced back, if I'm not mistaken. So,
Took a hit on the video myself.
Yeah, me too. Shit about the dip.
Yeah, I did.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
See, that's why people need to listen to you. So, tell us like a little bit about like when did you know the time was right to go from working for somebody else to planting your flag in the sand and getting something rocking and rolling yourself?
Well, these guys at ATEL were just, it's a great fund, and the founder, it's pretty incredible what he's done, starting from nothing and building a company. I mean, we're three-pronged, right? I work for ATEL Ventures, but there's also a real estate arm, there's a leasing arm, and this guy built it all himself. So really meeting with him was kind of what tipped that over the edge, and then meeting with the team. Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations. You see a guy like that, you're just like, I just want to learn everything I can from you.
Yeah.
And then knowing that there's just a different, kind of risk parameters you have at a fund, and so you can have a little bit more of a leash to kind of jump in and get involved with those companies on a greater scale, as opposed to being at a bank. Sometimes it can be a little bit more stringent.
I see. Because like their thesis or their philosophy or their mandate or whatever the case is.
It's just when you get federally regulated, and it's more like you're I don't know, when you're in the private markets, it's just a lot more fun. I don't know how else to describe it. It's
The
just
sky's the limit.
yeah, exactly. It's more the homework you do, and it's up to you. And it's kind of like I was just really excited. I got to my point in my career where I felt like, hey, I can go out and kind of build my own book now and kind of be my own investor.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about Boston, man.
Yeah.
I love Boston, man. My mom's from Boston, too.
Is she?
I didn't mention.
Nice, love that. Yeah, man. I mean, born and raised Hanover, Mass. Love that place. I will never ever. That's always my home. That's home. It will ever be my home. Big Boston guy for all sports.
Did you play any hockey growing up?
I did play hockey growing up. Yeah, still play with the boys now in the SF leagues. It's fun. Yeah. All washed up, but we're having fun.
It's a senior league.
That's what it feels like. No, it's good, man. I mean, you were there. You get it. It's the community, the people. I can't say enough good things. But I will say, being here, God, people give SF such a bad rep, and this place is unbelievable. It's beautiful.
It's funny you mentioned that. Mariane had just released a video saying like San Francisco's back, and it does feel like the energy is palpable. Like there's more venture money and debt money than anywhere in the country that's being spent around artificial intelligence. This is like changing all these different unique verticals.
100%.
What are some of the spaces that you're more excited? You mentioned clinical trials. So what are some of the other spaces that you're particularly excited about?
So agriculture, regenerative farming. I also just, in the middle of talking to someone right now about that. That's pretty incredible. I'm also talking with someone that they're going to make carbon neutral steel, which is, wild. So a lot of the technology and science behind things is honestly, that's why I love my job. I wake up every day and I go into work and I have no idea what I'm going to do that day on like who I'll talk to, what opportunity. Yeah, and it's what makes it fun because it's like I get up, I have my normal routines, but then it's like I could wake up and see the most incredible technology on the planet on a Tuesday.
And you get to help them.
Exactly, and it's fun.
I got to tell you, I feel there's a lot of parallels between us. It's like being able to give a platform to the founders, the funders, the friends, the technologists, the amazing community builders like yourself. It's like this. It feels like there's so much value, so much meaning. It's like purpose.
It is.
We get to pass the torch on to somebody else, and they're doing cool stuff too. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
and love like mentoring the kids below us and like younger than us. I mean, there's some hungry 25, 24, 26-year-olds that are coming up, and those are super fun guys to work with.
Are you seeing, just kind of play devil's advocate, because I know like the younger whiz-bang Ivy Leaguers, they get all the press, but in reality, if you look like the age of the average successful founder, they're probably like 40s, maybe mid-40s, something along those lines. What general age founder do you typically work with?
Man, that's wild. Well, my last portfolio, I had about 6 or 7 female founders, so never asked that age, so I didn't know. So I will say that. Yeah, got 2 sisters. So I didn't know that, but I would say, I don't know, it ranges, right? I would say the age so much doesn't matter as the person. So a great boss of mine prior, kind of taught me this. He said, no matter what happens when you're doing these deals and, you're interviewing companies before you're going to provide them capital. So the founder is really who you want to talk to, and you want to know that person inside and out. And it's the no assholes rule. And it's, if this person's a great person and where they come from, their origin story, that's really what's going to move the needle for you. Because let me tell you, it's not linear. You are going to fall, and you have to be there for them when they fall, and then you have to be with your board and let everyone else understand why you're doing this. And you have to be there for them in the bad times. And those are the people, regardless of age, it's just the character of those people is who you want to work with.
Yeah, that's beautifully put. And I almost feel like they say the age is just a number, but it almost feels like a trite quip. But in reality, it's like look at what the millennial really means. I think that's more of a philosophy than a specific age. I've got friends that are in their 50s that are, you could say, are like millennials, because it's like how they see the world and their buying habits and their activities. So it's like
Exactly.
Let's just let people be who they are, and then like as their capital provider, strategic partner, you just let them really blossom.
100%. 100%. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what we are, right? It's there to help on the advisement, but it's like they're building this. This is their dream. This is what they're dedicating their life to.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm incredibly lucky that this is where my career has led me, and to work with the smartest people and some of the most passionate people in the world, and creating what they love, and to give back to whatever their ethos is. And a lot of the times, I'd say like 90% of the time, you're not going to be the founder who's just in it for the money. They're in it for what they're creating.
Yeah, because it's so much easier to do like something else, and maybe those golden handcuffs at Google or Facebook.
You can go anywhere else and make tons of money, especially the people that are creating this. So men and women that are doing this, they could go to Meta, Facebook, Tesla. They could be making, the buku dollars. But
the irony is, like, I feel like, and granted, I have a horse in the race, being a founder myself, but it almost feels like taking control of your future by means of creating a product or a platform or a community.
100%.
Like, that's almost like less risky than staying in, like, sticking your head in the sand. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. I mean, you're betting on yourself.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, who better to bet on than yourself?
Yeah, I want to bet on Deep.
I bet on that guy with anything.
So maybe share a website with us, or maybe if you could spell your name for the folks so they can find you on LinkedIn.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Orlando, Michael, Orlando, like Florida. For LinkedIn, and then it's atelcapital.com. It's ATEL.com, and happy to work with anyone and everyone.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, man.
Hey,
great to meet.
Phenomenal.
Shout out to Dee for the
absolutely.
Hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All
right, talk soon.
Man. Cool.
Thanks,
dude.
Oh, yeah. See, you got me here in the event space over here. Now I'm like, all right, I get to chill, right?
All right, we're gonna go live in 3, 2. Welcome to Silicon Zombies, where we bring you the best brains from the Bay to beyond. We're super psyched to have Hans from the Agentic, the Chief Business Officer in San Francisco today. Hans, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Nick.
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
So you guys got a beautiful brand, a wonderful community you're bringing together. Help us understand that. How do you see storytelling?
Storytelling. Well, it depends, I think, who you're trying to talk to. Business 101, right?
Yeah.
Who's your audience?
Yeah, well put.
Yeah. I kind of say from that, but in terms of what we're doing over here, right? We want to enable founders, early stage startups, the ability to go capitalize on what the market is happening for right now. And what I mean by that is it takes nothing to create a company from a monetary standpoint, from an expertise standpoint. Heck, even just a couple of years ago, the amount of people capital would take to create a business is super intensive. Now you can go do that on your phone. So hence, storytelling, man, create your own story right now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. The idea of, I like to think of it as like run on the racetrack. What used to slow founders down, like that's all getting rid of and automated. So you take these folks and maybe that traditionally are not technical, but now all of a sudden they've got these models that can produce a lot of that for them. And in addition, it's more important than ever before to educate yourself on what's happening, what's around the corner. It sounds like the Agentic is just like a beautiful platform to help bridge that gap.
Yeah, no, we have. So, we are a model business. We're an AI infrastructure company. We've got a couple open source projects that are coming out. Won't give you a whole pitch on that, but more or less.
I like that. The reason I say is because things are so up in the air with what's happening with DeepSeek.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe we can get your hot take on what's happening in the DeepSeek space.
So I would say I'm going to wait just a little bit, but we've got some things. We've got a couple of things that are coming out that's, let's just say, pertinent to all of that, and we're very excited about what we're about to release.
Beautiful. Yeah, so it is kind of interesting if we zoom out a little bit and look at the open versus the closed ecosystem, or ecosystem, I should say. Apple just recently had a big pop in their valuation, and my guess is that happened because they didn't get wrapped up into the drama of all these new models and maybe the irrational exuberance of overvaluations. Maybe they're playing the slow roll.
Yeah.
They've got the walled garden. And, trust, of course, is super crucial when it comes to data and taking care of your customers. How are you seeing the open versus the closed source space right now?
Yeah, so I will say, right, for certain use cases, certain models are better. Makes sense, right? There's a verticalized approach going on in the space right now where different models are being used for different use cases. If I'm going to put on my selling hat right now, one of the main differentiators of our model is the fact that you can actually deploy this on premise and it's private. So what you just mentioned, you protect your data, protect your customers' data. Those are the two most important things. Donna, you mentioned something from Apple, right? I would consider that, let's just take a step back, thinking about it in enterprise. What I've been seeing in the enterprise, I've spent my entire life selling into the enterprise to an extent. Adoption when it comes to technology is not coming, right? We're seeing executives say,
"Is this too early?"
Well, I think that you've created these businesses and these companies. The way you've architected these, they don't necessarily have the infrastructure to support some of these use cases, right? So you've got executives at these firms, at these companies that are saying, "Hey, where's my AI? Where's my AI?" And you've got central IT that's like, "Whoa, hold the horses." Even if we wanted to implement these certain workflows or these business processes that we can automate, we can't even do so because of the way that our data is structured. Think about it in terms of old pipes that are in a building, right? You've got to revolutionize these pipes. So what I believe truly right now, if you want to eat up market share, it is the time to create a business that is an AI-first organization. Heck, you can do so with us, obviously, through our Launchpad program.
Yeah.
But the way that I see this folding out is because adoption is so slow within the enterprise, sales process you're going to go through for technical validation is quite extensive. Security validation is going to take a while as well. Over a year, huge cost of sale. I will bet on early stage companies who have a vertical that they add value to. I bet you those companies, if they get into the right types of deals, the right types of POCs, that they will be turned into M&A conversations, and they'll actually be turned into that. So I see because of the way it's shaping up to what you mentioned, but at the same time, you can create a business and get that actually bought by another one. I truly think that that's what's going to happen.
Hans, that is so inspiring to hear. As a serial founder myself, it almost felt like it was less risk averse historically to start a company because you kind of knew where things were headed. But now with like the space seems to getting shaken up so quickly, it's like we're in a dust storm. And we got to wait for the dust to settle before we know what's going to happen next. But you're saying like just dive right in, have the domain expertise, have a good team, execute, and build something and just get those deals. Like you get those deals, and the company will continue to grow.
Yeah. So there's one thing about being somebody. I was born here in the city at Children's Hospital. I grew up in Palo Alto and Mountain View. It's what I call.
Boy. I went to Los Gatos, dude.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, I'm a Bay Cat for real. But yeah, I would say that growing up in the convergence of capital and technical markets, the way that I describe it, has given me an understanding that you see tons of great companies, tons of great products out there. You could be the best tech product, but that does not mean diddly squat. You could get nothing because if your execution isn't there, then you're not going to win. So I will always say, execution, going out there, doing it, saying you're going to do it, that's much more important than actually creating the best technology or the best quote unquote company.
Let me ask you a little bit about that because that sounds great, from on paper, but when a team is thinking about executing, what are some high level brushstrokes? Is it prioritization and then giving specific projects to the team and having come back? How are you thinking about the architecture of proper execution?
I think
that's a tricky question.
Yeah, tricky question. I would say at least look at it, what you're spending your time on, right?
Say one more time.
What you're spending your time on, right? Because as an early stage company founder, literally, it's not the market forces that are your greatest enemy, it's time, right? And it's spending time on the wrong things. So be very critical about those. The other thing I would say too is that don't have what they call in the business happy years. And all that means is you've got somebody that likes your product, you wants to go trial it, all these things. That's amazing. That's great. Understand some guardrails, understand what the actual business outcome is going to be of that, and then go attach that and go figure out a way to execute that. So, simplify it, right?
We all get 24 hours a day, 168 hours in the week. So be careful how you're spending your time. All the founders, beautiful advice from Hans from the Agentic. Hans, thank you so much for hopping on here.
Thank you so much, man.
Maybe is there a website that you could share with the audience here?
Hey, theagentic.ai, come check it out. We've got a bunch of stuff that is coming out. We've got some open source components that are coming out as well. If you're building out real autonomous digital workers, please come to us. One of our customers actually just did a digital worker for bio and pharmacare. Again, look us up. We're doing some cool things.
Awesome. And shout out to our friend Mariane Becker, who's throwing a helpful party here.
All right. Cheers, bro.
Thanks for coming on. Okay, cool, guys. Guys, I'm super excited. We got a Silicon Zombie exclusive here. Josh from Vimble, who's been in town for how long?
10 days.
Beautiful. Welcome to the Madness. Welcome to the Bay. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about you've been working in stealth and now you're ready to rock and roll.
We are.
Please tell us more.
So we built the world's first neurologically personalized learning environment. We induce a deep meditative and hyper-focused flow state, then introduce accelerated learning. Simply put, we remove all the noise to be able to accelerate learning like 3 to 5 times while increasing retention by over 35%.
Now, are you getting rid of the distractions? Or what is it? What was the aha moment in understanding how the brain works? You're like, wow, this is how we can level up people from an education perspective.
It's a great question because I actually built this. I built this neuro hack to get myself through law school. So about 10 years ago, I had a big accident, ended up with 17 spine injuries, shoulder and hip. And then I lost my career as a mining and construction supervisor in Australia, and then had lots of lawsuits. So then I studied law school, went to law school, and I could understand it, but I couldn't do the workload because I didn't finish law school. So I got in there and I was either going to quit or figure it out. And I figured it out by neurohacking myself through law school. How to manage pain, how to compartmentalize stress, how to be able to intake information, how to accelerate learning. And I built a room in my house that I get up at 3 a.m. and go and study. And then I graduated law school and worked as a judge's associate. And that room that I built in the house, I needed at work. I can't bring the whole room into work, so I said, well, can I build that virtually? And the answer was yes. So then I started speaking to some software engineers, some neuroscientists, and then that started the ball rolling, and I had some good conversations. I threw a little bit of my own personal money at it, and then we raised $1 million, and we built out the proof of concept with a mining services company.
Wow.
And then we have now gone into HR tech, and now we're going to HR tech in Canada. And we're going into learning management systems and EdTech where we can get access to, 50 million clients through one company.
I have so many questions. Like on one hand, it sounds like you can unlock the productivity for folks. So that's like the HR tech angle. Just right before Josh and I hopped on, we were talking about Amy Cuddy, who gave an amazing TED talk. She also was in an automobile accident. That she's also a professor at Stanford University. And so her personal journey was basically she was able to kind of have a silver lining, like something negative and had impacted her life. But just like you, she was able to find the positive and improve. So now you're like what the $6 million man, right? So tell us a little bit about your process of understanding in your mind and maybe some skills or hacks that folks at home can leverage.
Some of the most simple things that you can do is just get into routines and habits, eliminate distractions, get rid of phones, get rid of all of those things that are going to distract you to be able to put you into that more focused state. To be able to put yourself into that flow state is quite difficult, and that's what everybody's trying to figure out. Whereas we can do that, we can watch the moment both by EEG and physically. So when people get into the flow state in Vimble, their hands will drop to the side and their heads will drop to the side. But to be able to do that outside of the environment, because we've got 30 neurological and sensory elements, and they work together in 55 combinations, it's super hard to do that outside of the environment.
Maybe you could train yourself to do that though eventually, like a monk or something like that.
I was not able to do it.
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe there's like sensory deprivation.
So this is essentially that's what this is.
Okay, can we unpack that for us a little bit?
So inside of the environment, so you think spatial computing, so that's virtual reality, application of biomedical technology. Inside of a virtual learning environment, the first thing that we get you to do is go diving in the Great Barrier Reef.
Wow.
Then when you're there, you sit there for a couple of minutes, and then we start introducing the first bit of our neuroscience. And when you get that first bit of the neuroscience, people go, oh, what was that? And we'll watch people going from looking around to looking dead straight ahead. And they typically just look down in front of them. And that's how we get the people into a meditative state, but that's not the flow state. So just experiencing that gives people the ability to be able to come out of the environment and feel much more calm. And we've been able to show that with wearable EEGs as well.
I bet there's some excellent applications for the government. Like think about if there's like the Army or the Marines or the Air Force, and they need to learn something, maybe a new language or protocol or something, and they could go through your modality, and to be able to ingest this information a lot more efficiently.
There's a term for it. It's called accelerated training.
Accelerated training. Okay.
If you've got like a new tank or a new piece of equipment or anything like that, that's where going into Vimble and learning about that and accelerated 3 to 5 times faster, while also retaining 35% more. That's where workplace training or mining or the army or the services. That's where we've got a big application for sure.
Wow. Man, so congratulations on the raise. What does the next 3, 6, 12 months look like for you guys as a company?
So we're commercialising at the moment through a learning management system in Canada. They've got training for 550 hospitals globally, including 500 in the US.
Wow, okay.
We're also starting our software as a medical device research as well. So the way that the software works, it relaxes the brain's amygdala, gives a direct learning path to the main memory center, the hippocampus. By relaxing the amygdala, you're able to give people with mental health battles and neurodivergent conditions and highly distracted children an education far faster than before. So that's where those 3 areas, we have to go into software as a medical device research to be able to make the claims that we need to around those industries. So we're going to start that in the next 3 to 6 months. We are commercialising. We're also raising capital to be able to make the most of that commercialisation.
I have a couple VC introductions that I think could be valuable, so let's definitely hit that offline. I want to throw a curveball your way. How does psilocybin kind of play into some of these rewiring of the neural pathways? Maybe it could be in conjunction. You could plead the fifth if it's a little bit too spicy.
There's a lot of very good research around the way that neurotropics like that can be able to, not nootropics, stimulants like that are able to rewire the brain. Combining that with pinball is potentially something that we can look at in the future and will probably likely be on the roadmap. But at this point in time, I don't want to make any claims.
No, fair enough.
It's a great area.
Yeah, it very diplomatic answer. A good friend of mine, actually the fellow that introduced me to my wife, his name is Roberto Scaccia. And he's an investor that I think could be interested in this specific space. So 2 things. Vimble has a website, I imagine.
Vimble.ai, VIMBAL.ai.
Perfect. And then, who is your ideal customer profile, or who's the ideal individual that the zombie community can reach out to you and say, "Oh, I got this friend to be perfect for your company."
Learning management system. So we get access to one company, and they have access to 500,000, a million clients. So it's B2B2C that way. That's the best introductions we can have for our commercialization right now.
Beautiful, beautiful. And maybe share your full name and spell it out so folks can connect with you on LinkedIn.
Certainly. Joshua, Joshua, Arnold, Arnall.
And as an Australian, are you a surfer? Do you love Mick or Parko, or who's your guy?
I used to surf. After the accident, I haven't been able to get back on the board though. Stand up paddleboard, but just not surfing. I can't have the impact.
Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Which is just about as contact free as like knitting or something like that too. Nice, man. Well, hey, I really appreciate you hopping on.
Yeah,
great, congratulations and great work so far here. All right, cool. Cheers. All right, cool. Dude, you nailed it, brother. That was awesome. Yeah.
TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation.